investing in yourself and your life and your health and your mind, and you need to make that decision to start out with, and it's very important that you do. Hey guys, Steve Yuli, how you doing on this fine day? How's things your end? Good? Hope so. Hope things are starting to change and the world is starting to turn again. We're certainly starting to see a lot happening, and we're starting to see a lot of movement around the world, and things are starting to not get back to normal, but kind of develop into a new normal, which is, we've just got to move and adapt and keep going, and not just let this affect us, and how we're going to shift, which is our main kind of focus, and how we're going to come through this, and how we're going to come through this strong, and how we're going to sorry, my camera's just about to fall. How we're going to come off the back of this even stronger than we went into it, and it's given, what this has done is given us some time to evaluate a lot of different things, and how things in the industry that we want to be at the forefront of pioneering, and all this kind of thing. So more on this kind of stuff later, but I hope everyone's staying positive, because we are, and you need things to exercise your mind, exercise your body, so get out there, do some workouts, get out there, learn some new shit, and skill up. And believe you me, you'd be very surprised if you start focusing on positive things, such as getting healthy, eating healthy food, learning new things, learning new software, new hardware, new business skills, all this type of thing. It really does take your mind and occupy your mind and stop you falling into this pit of despair that a lot of people seem to be falling into. Plus, if you skill up and you move your mind forward, a little idea might pop in your head for a new business idea, how you can change something that's going to bring an income, even in this climate, because people are making money. Like, look at Jeff Bezos, that guy's absolutely killing it right now, because he shifted, and he saw gaps in the market everywhere. And what have people done during this? They've went out and spent money, so that's for sure. So anyway, positive. So this morning I wanted to talk about haircuts. Hey, nearly time. I'll get one soon, promise. I might keep the ponytail actually. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the things you're going to need to be a light designer. Once again, I've talked about this in a few videos, but speaking to a few people, and I've had a few comments saying that, can you just go over some things that I'll need to get into the industry, to get ahead? What fundamental things do I need to know? Things like that. So I'm just going to try and go through some things to start out. If you're coming out of college or university, you've obviously got a base understanding of what light is, what lighting design is, what consoles are, what lights are. I mean, if you're way before that and you're watching this podcast, those are the first things you're gonna need. You're gonna need to know how light works for concerts and stage, how people look under light. You're gonna need to know some theory about how light works, how lighting fixtures work, how lighting consoles work, how to rig lighting, not necessarily to a rigger level, but you're going to need to know how lighting gets hung in the air, what instruments are used, like truss, clamps, things like that, so you can actually draw these things in your designs. You're going to need to know basic kind of theory, like the how light works, what colors are color, how color mixing works, what is color mixing, what is DMX, what is ArtNet, what is streaming ACN, what is a moving light, how does a moving light work, what oh sorry, just been told to stop. What's going on here? I think branches fell on the road here. Crazy. Yeah, you're gonna need to know a bunch of things like that. Moving lights, how moving lights work, what gobos are, how the color mixing works in lighting fixtures, what automated lighting is, what conventional lighting is, what color filters are. You're going to need to know a little bit about electricity, because you need to know about loading of your this gets generally worked out. You're going to need to know an overview of how to work out power. You don't have to go really in depth with it, because chances are, if you're going to be the LD, the technicians are going to be dealing with it, unless you're setting it up as well. It's always good to have a little base knowledge in electricity, how much load you can put on the certain power, sort of standard power supplies that are going to be around in the venues that you're going to come across. You're going to need to research venues, how to work in certain venues, in all levels. So from club venues through to kind of theatre academy in the UK, through to arenas, and then stadiums are just kind of rolling cities that roll in, so everything gets brought in. But start researching these things. There's an abundance of videos out there now of how these things are put together. There's a ton of websites out there, and I know we'll be covering pretty much all of this stuff which I'm discussing in our website, but there's a bunch of stuff out there already. Get out on a job and learn this stuff as well. Contact people who are actively doing it and watch what they're doing, model those guys. There's an abundance of people who've been in this industry for a long time, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer questions. I get an abundance of questions all the time, and I try to answer them all. From anything, any different aspect of the industry. But just jumping back to what you're going to need to know, then you're going to need to know, once you've got the basics down, you're going to need to know like weight loadings. Again, not necessarily down to a rigger level, but in the first instance, it's your responsibility to design the show, but then look at the weights that are going to be on the truss. You're going to need to know a basic knowledge of truss and what truss can handle what weights, what LED lighting is versus tungsten, and then arc bulb lamp lighting. You're going to need to know a little bit about follow spots, how to call follow spots, how to use follow spots. You're going to need to know base knowledge on networking, because it depends on the console you're going to use, but pretty much all consoles these days use some kind of network to link all the equipment that we use together, even media servers. You should never really stop learning, because there's a hell of a lot to learn in this job, and you always need to keep skilling up and moving forward, and this is the time to do it. Well, we've got a lot of time on our hands, and we're able to watch these things. In the previous video I was talking about investing in yourself, and actually taking the plunge and just investing in yourself and making the decision about what you want to do and what you want to be, and investing in the money, investing in your time, and actually investing in yourself and your life and your health and your mind and you need to make that decision to start out with, and you know it's very important that you do if you're going to focus and make a career out of this particular field. You know, moving on from the basics, you're going to need to know various different softwares to draw in, like Vectorworks, WYSIWYG, Depends, L8, Cinema 4D. You know, there's various things coming out based on Unreal Engine right now. So the more of these things, the better, because essentially you need your designs to stand out from the crowd. You're going to need to know basic video editing, how to put your designs together. You're going to need to know a bit about like graphics design to make things look cool. You're going to need to know you know, all the sort of basic software that you would get on any kind of Mac or PC, word processing, spreadsheets, all that kind of jazz. You know, that just is basic IT skills, and if you haven't got that right now, then you've got a long way to go, my friend. From there, you're going to have to learn consoles, as many as possible, because you know some people rest on their laurels and just expect excuse me, a specific console to be there, and then when it's not, shit hits the fan. So if you've got basic knowledge in most consoles, then you're forever going to be prepared. Excuse me, frog in my throat this one. So the more knowledge on the hardwares and the control equipment that we use in this industry, the better. Excuse me, guys, sorry. So yeah, the more knowledge on all of the kit that we use, the better. Never stop learning. There's new lights galore coming out. You know, we're going to try and review all of this software, hardware, and everything that's new that's going to be on the market. We're going to try and get a hold of to bring you an actual real in-depth user perspective video based on, you know, how we would use it, and you know, do that from our perspective and not just from somebody who doesn't really do the job, or is from a manufacturer's perspective, because with all due respect to the manufacturer, it's their job to sell the product, but it's our job to use the product. So we want an honest opinion on how this is going to be used and what we would do with it. Obviously we're not just going to go through and bash the product, because that's just not non-productive. If there's something that could be improved, then we'll discuss it with the manufacturer, but you know, it's not going to be a product bashing exercise which other people do. That's absolutely not what it's going to be. You know, and you're going to need to know a lot about working with people. So this job is all about the people who you work with, because daily you're going to be dealing with new people constantly. You know, every day when you're on tour, you're gonna meet like a lot of new people in every venue that you go to. There's going to be a fresh new set of faces that you have to get along with, that you have to get the best out of. If you're the touring LD, if it's lighting director, or the touring crew, or whoever, you're going to come across local crew, house crew, and things like that, which you need to get on with and need to get the best out of. So I've seen in the past where an LD will walk into a room, and then it's, you know, the venue might be a bit shit, but they go in and just give the venue crew hell. Well, it's not their fault. They're only there working. So, you know, they're just trying to make the best. They've got a job there. It's not their fault that it's that shit. You know, don't take it out on them. You're there to get the best of a bad situation. So, you know, you need to figure out how to work with people, even when you're feeling shit. You know, it's very easy to work with people and smile and remember somebody's name. You know, it's you need to do that, because there's a awful trait in this industry where people don't remember people's names. You know, and it's really, sometimes it's a bit difficult because you meet that many people, but you know, to go into somewhere, be introduced to someone, and then not remember their name in a few minutes is pretty bad, you know. So you need to, there's a little trick which I try to do, where if I'm introduced to somebody, I'll say the name constantly until it's stuck in my brain. So, you know, and I'll just repeat the name, obviously silently, in my own brain, and so I remember it, because it's just common respect, and there's nothing more important to anybody in this world than their own name, you know. And if you can remember somebody's name, you're going to get the best out of them, and if you address them by their name, you know, you're going to get the best out of them. And you need to work out how to deal with people. You need to work out how you're going to communicate your designs to your prospective clients. You need to learn that kind of graphics aspect, how you're going to present your designs to your clients, because, you know, more so now, you're going to have to stand out more than just a plot on a piece of paper. You need to put your imagination in front of them in graphic form, so, you know, represented in a real world looking drawing. And the tools are there these days, there's no excuse. So if you're pitching on jobs and you're not winning them, it's, you know, you need to assess why you're not winning these jobs. And by jobs I mean clients and tours and things like that. And you need to assess, you know, there's one thing I've always done is, if I haven't won something, I've been asked to pitch on it, I'll tend to try and ask for any feedback. So, is there anything I could improve on? Is there anything I could have been better? Generally, people won't even respond, but, you know, if you ask the question and constantly keep asking the question, you know, you might get some responses, because there might just be one little thing that you tweak, and next time you change it, and then you win the job next time, you know. So always be following up and changing things, looking at how things work when you're pitching your particular design. Once you have won the job, you're going to need to know how to deliver it. So how to work with rental companies, what rental companies are actually there to do. There seems to be a really set of lazy individuals out there these days that just expect the rental company to do everything for them. Once they've awarded them the contract, then it's down to the rental company, then it's all their fault if it goes wrong, when essentially it's not. It's up to the LD to keep abreast of all of this stuff and make sure that the planning is there, and make sure that this is a success, because that's essentially why they get employed in the first place, to make this show a success with that particular design that they've designed. So then when something goes slightly wrong and then they blame the rental company, how can it be the rental company's fault? Anyway, little gripes. Yeah, so there's a hell of a lot of skills that you're going to need to learn, and a hell of a lot of the whole process which you're going to need to learn. But, you know, why not get out there and start doing it now? And yeah, join us. It's going to be fun. So Mandylights U is going to bring you as much of this content as we possibly can. We're daily recording new videos, and we're getting them out as fast as we can. But, you know, it's a long process, you know, getting videos recorded, getting videos edited, getting them out there, and, you know, putting them up online for everyone to enjoy and consume and all that kind of thing. So please keep your eyes peeled, get on our mailing list, join up to the free section, and there's a bunch of stuff on there. And you know, if you feel like you want to jump into the premium, you can't, you know, you can't really go wrong with this. We're giving a lot of stuff, valuable information away for a fraction of the price you would get it anywhere else. So so yeah, I'll see you on the inside hopefully, and take care. See you.